Today we are here to welcome Gianluca di Caro, who is the marketing director for the World Boxing Federation. He is presently in Malta, looking at various locations and speaking to several government officials in connection with the World Boxing Federation Convention, which will be held in Malta on the 2012th. Gianluca, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to interview you.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. I'll come to immediately to the first question. Can you tell us what the World Boxing Federation is all about and what it plans to do in Malta?
The World Boxing Federation is the sanctioning body of championship boxing. Currently we're ranked number 5 in the world, but we're growing fast. In 2011 we held over 40 championship fights. In 2012 we anticipate this will grow to about 50 to 60 fights. The reason why I'm actually in Malta at this point is the 2012 WBF Convention, and which is going to be held here in Malta obviously, but most significantly today we're also going to hold the first professional boxing event ever in Malta. And not just that, we're going to hold a world title fight here. So it's going to start with a bang.
Gianluca, my next question is something about our island, Malta. You have only been here a very short time, but would you like to give us your impressions, your very first impressions?
Of Malta, wonderful place. It's blown me away, I've got to be absolutely honest. I actually see it, especially this area that we're in at the moment, as direct competition for Monaco and places like that. It really is a superb location. I couldn't think of a better place to hold a convention or a championship fight.
Gianluca, now we go back to the issue of the convention. How many delegates will actually be attending this convention?
We're anticipating around 220 delegates from around the globe. A large percentage obviously from America, but South Africa, Australia, Japan, and of course the whole of Europe and the Eastern Bloc.
And Malta, of course.
Of course.
Gianluca, anything special on the agenda for this convention?
I touched on it slightly at the beginning. We're going to be holding the very first professional boxing event in Malta, which is something special in itself. But to make it even more special, we're going to headline that with a world title fight. And we're also going to be introducing the very first Gaelic Celtic title fight in the world. This is a new title that was introduced in January this year, and it's open to all fighters of Gaelic or Celtic countries' heritage. So you can have an American Irish guy fighting like a Scot, or all different sort of permutations. Someone from Guernsey or like certain areas of France. They'll all be able to compete, whereas before they weren't able to compete for a title like that. About the nearest you've got is a Commonwealth title, but that's still only limited to people licensed within the Commonwealth, whereas this is anybody licensed anywhere in the world. As long as their heritage is from the Gaelic Celtic nations, they can take part. So it's a very, very special, unique event.
So I am to understand that these new Gaelic titles will actually be in direct competition with the present Commonwealth titles, as they offer perhaps more for the boxer of Irish descent?
Well, to a degree, yes, you could say it would compete with it, but it's much wider than that. It's a world title. Any fighter from around the world, it doesn't matter where they're based, where they fight out of, which license they fight on, they can fight for this title if they've got Gaelic or Celtic heritage. So you've got a lot of American Irish, obviously. They could never compete, say, for an Irish title or fight for a Commonwealth title, but they can fight for this. So to a degree, it's a world title, but it's something that's specific for the Gaelic Celtic nations or heritage.
Gianluca, we now go back to discussing a little about the convention that will be held in Malta in the near future. What exactly have you been planning during your short stay in these islands?
Well, I would say it's been very busy for a start. My first meeting, I went to the Dolman Hotel, which is going to be where is the venue for the actual championship fights. From there, I then went to the Malta Tourism Authority for a meeting. Then from there I went to the Bugita Hotel, which is where the fighters will be staying. And then finally I came to the Fortuna Spa Resort, which is where the convention itself will be, for meetings and to see the facilities, etc. It's been quite a busy day.
Next on the agenda,
Tomorrow morning I have a meeting with the new CEO of the Malta Sports Council, Mr. Guido Schironi. And then I'm flying home and I have to put together a couple of presentations.
so you are satisfied with this visit? You're satisfied with what Malta has to offer?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, the facilities here are first class. Everything about it is first class. The reception I've received has been wonderful. I can't wait to get this show on the road.
Thank you for accepting the invitation of Malta Boxing News to be interviewed this evening. And we do wish the World Boxing Federation every success in the boxing ventures they are planning in the Maltese Islands.